Hey Shelby Bells, it's Shelby. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in for another video. In today's video, you guys, we're to talk about Morphe, Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics, and just their umbrella company Forma, because it looks like the rumor is on the street that Forma is gonna file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. That is very interesting tea, and I thought we should talk about it. If you're interested in hearing more about that drama, make sure that you keep on watching. Okay, before we get into today's video, if you are new here, my name is Shelby. I'm the crazy cat lady of the drama community here on YouTube. I bring you the tea 7 days a week with the help of my investigative research team, Mr. and Miss Kitty. This is Mr. Kitty. He's really the face of the operation here on my channel. He loves to be held, loves to be cuddled, loves to hang out on his throne here. And then we have Miss Kitty. She's really the brains of the operation. She finds all the receipts and all the tea. If you have a receipt from Miss Kitty, you guaranteed it's the true tea, the facts, all of that. Mr. Kitty's not so good at getting the receipts, you guys. He sometimes will bring me clickbait, half-truths, the tea that hasn't fully developed yet. So if we ever get a receipt like that from Mr. Kitty, I'm sorry, he's trying. You guys, give Mr. Kitty a break. He's doing the best that he can. But anyway, if you like the drama, if you like cats, if you like the tea, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below. Don't forget to ring the bell so you're notified of all my future videos when they do post. Remember that all Shelby Bells ring the bell. Okay, let's get into today's drama. So there is a lot of rumors on the street, you guys, that Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics, Forma Brands, the umbrella company for Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics, Morphe, REM Beauty by Ariana Grande, and a plethora of other brands is going to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Now, this is very interesting tea because there has been a lot of rumors on the street about the financial state of Morphe for a long time. If you guys remember, there was back in the day, there was all this drama going on because landlords from malls and stuff like that all across the country were reporting that Morphe had not been paying their rent for their space in the stores, and it was a big fiasco. To kind of really get into what I want to talk about with this subject, we kind of have to hop in a time machine and go back in time, right? And talk about what kind of like was the boom for Morphe and Forma brands, and how it just like kind of like sparked into like, you know, this like phenomenon, was super popular all over the country, like super fast. And then talk about like what kind of was the downfall of it and where they're going to end up in the future. So let's jump in our little time machine and go back in time a little bit. So when you think about I'm going to refer to most of this as Morphe because Forma Brands is like an umbrella company over a bunch of different brands, but for a long time, their biggest moneymaker was Morphe. And so I think we should talk about Morphe and how that contributed to what is possibly going on. So Morphe started back in the day with, honestly, on a really sketchy note. Their brushes were apparently just kind of like, what is that? I don't even know what the term is, you guys. I'm so bad with this, but that term when they just take like box generic products, they slap their label on it, and then they sell it at a much higher rate. That's basically what Morphe was doing with their brushes and stuff. But somehow, because of influencer backing, they ended up making a huge name for themselves. And what I mean by that is, if you guys remember, back in the heyday of the beauty community, everybody had a Morphe code. Everyone was plugging Morphe. One of the biggest names plugging Morphe was Jaclyn Hill. Jaclyn Hill, Jeffree Star. I mean, everybody, like Laura Lee, Manny MUA, you know, Gabriel Zamora, Jeffree Star, all of them were pushing and pumping out Morphe and plugging Morphe everywhere. Nikki Tutorials even. Everybody was talking about Morphe, okay? No one could get enough. Everybody was, this is the new Morphe palette. Oh, these new, and to blend my crease, I'm using the Morphe M541, and like it was a Morphe everything, okay? And literally, James Charles even had one of his little slogans was to use code James for 10% off or whatever. Like that, it was so big, right? And that hype during the peak of the beauty community and its popularity was extremely beneficial to Morphe, and they ended up making a ton of money off of these people buying products using influencer codes and just the popularity of the influencers in turn promoting their products so that people would buy their stuff more. It was huge for Morphe, okay? I don't know if I'm really saying that in the most clear and concise way. I'm bad at that, but that's what it was, okay? And so from there, you hit Dramageddon 2, Carmageddon, all of these drama, this major drama within the beauty community. Slowly, influencers that were once really prominent in the beauty community started getting canceled one after the other. And with that, their affiliation with Morphe kind of stopped because Morphe would stop associating with them, right? That, in my opinion, had a detrimental effect on Morphe, the brand, because when you think about Morphe and what brought them to success, it was the backing of all of these influential people in the beauty community. If those people are no longer as influential in the beauty community because of scandals, being canceled, whatever it is, in turn, much of your advertising and your marketing is going to go away. And in turn, a lot of people are going to stop shopping with your brand, whether it's to take a stance because they don't support James Charles, so why would they shop at Morphe because they're not going to support somebody who works so heavily with James Charles or Jaclyn Hill or Jeffree Star or whatever it is, right? That had a detrimental effect on them. And it happened, the biggest peak of it happened right after they started opening all of these brick and mortar stores inside malls and stuff across the country, because for a long time they were online only, or they had only a couple stores here and there, and most of their sales are from online. They used a lot of this money, possibly from investors, and a lot, I'm sure, from the profits they got from the stuff these influencers were pushing, to open up all these brick and mortar stores, only for then all of their major influencers to get canceled or lose a significant amount of relevancy afterward. So that was a big hit for Morphe, okay? And when you think about that, right after that happened, maybe like a year, not even a year later, COVID-19 hits. When COVID-19 hits, it changed the entire world. It changed the world. And in a big way, it changed the world was in how, and the way we purchase things and the things we purchase and what we do. Because we were no longer out and about wearing makeup every day. A lot of women and men were not out there wearing makeup every day. You know, our buying habits changed. Now, did we still buy makeup? Yeah, during the pandemic when I was locked up, I actually placed a huge, like a $400 order from Ulta, because I was like, well, I just want to play. At the time, I was also a makeup channel. I did beauty on my channel, so I used that as an opportunity to review new products and stuff. But at the same time, some people were buying makeup, but it definitely took a nosedive in the amount of makeup that was being purchased by people, for sure. And that has a significant effect on the profitability and what the sales that Morphe was bringing in, right? So all of a sudden, you have people not going out to shop in all these brick and mortar stores that you just built because of the pandemic. You know, things are closed, or like, you know, people aren't going out to the mall, especially, you know, during the peak of COVID and all that. And so it's just all of these things kind of like were just kind of like the downfall of Morphe, in my opinion, you know, not to even bring up their sketchy business practices and all of that. So you have that going on, okay? I think that whole situation really made Morphe take a hit, and therefore made former brands take a big hit, because after that they really couldn't quite recover. They weren't working with James Charles anymore. They weren't working with Jeffree Star anymore. Jeffree Star and James really haven't picked up the relevancy that they had before that. They still work with Jaclyn Hill, but Jaclyn Hill has her own separate brand under that umbrella of Forma now. So she no longer works with Morphe directly. She has her own separate brand under Forma now, Jaclyn Cosmetics. And then that has had its own slew of issues as well, with Lipstick Gate and what have you, right? So it's just been kind of a recipe for disaster for Forma and Morphe, because they never were really able to get the people, the influencers or the people behind them to push their products that they've needed to since then. They've brought in people like Nikita Dragon. They've brought in people like Madison Beer, and they've done little collabs with different brands and stuff like that, but nothing has been like the push of those big influential beauty people back in like the 2018, 2019 era. So I think that had a really big influence on what might have been the downfall of former brands and Morphe. Now, it's important to say that they are filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and I'm not super versed on the different chapters and types of bankruptcy that you can file, but I do think that Chapter 11, and please correct me in the comment section down below if I'm wrong, but I believe that the Chapter 11 bankruptcy is the form of bankruptcy that typically what will happen in that is that an investor of sorts will come in, they will basically bring some life, pump some money into the brand, and that they'll be okay, and they'll just be kind of owned by a different brand. It's happened before with other companies and stuff out there where you think they're gonna go out of business and someone comes in and buys them out. And so they're still there, but they're operating underneath somebody else. So will that mean that Forma is no longer the umbrella company of all these other people and that there will be a company on top of them? I don't know. I'm confused. I don't know. I know that when you think about the different brands within the Forma company, so R.E.M. by Ariana Grande. I love Ariana Grande. She is one of my favorite singers right now. I love her music. I love her, but I don't know. I haven't tried her makeup, but it doesn't really scream to me like I want to try it. It doesn't seem that exciting for it to be able to just kind of like have its own life outside of having a lot of investors behind it. Morphe, their quality is just gone downhill so much. The only thing I use from Morphe is their setting spray. They do have a couple different decent lip liners. They have a couple decent products out there, as most brands do, but overall the hype from them is done. I haven't bought a Morphe product except for the setting spray in quite a long time, and I'm sorry, like, although I love their setting spray, if they went out of business and they stopped putting out products, I wouldn't really miss the setting spray that much. I could find another one somewhere else. So it was not like I would be like hugely missing it. I will say that most, if not all, no, not all, but about 95% of the brushes that I use are made by Morphe, but there's other brands that make brushes out there. I could just, if I needed new brushes, I could find them somewhere else. It's not like what I got from Morphe, I could not get somewhere else, if that makes sense. So I don't know. I feel like they've gone downhill a lot. And then Jaclyn Cosmetics, I will say that her products, the stuff I have tried has been pretty good, but I don't know if it's enough it's bringing in enough money to help this brand, to help this company survive, this umbrella company over all of them. I don't think that it's bringing enough money to do that. I don't know. That's just my opinions on it. Let me know what you think about all of us in the comment section down below. Do you think that someone's gonna come in and pump a bunch of money into Forma so they stay existing and they'll be under the umbrella of, and again, another company on top of them? What do you think is going to happen with that? Do you think it's all going to just go away? If it does go away, what's going to happen with the future of Jaclyn Cosmetics, R.E.M. Beauty, Morphe? What's going to happen with all those brands underneath them? Are they going to be able to survive on their own? Will they in turn get their own investors to come in and support them? Let me know. This is a big topic. I want to hear what you think in the comment section down below. And that's going to be it for today's video, you guys. If you did enjoy it, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel down below. Don't forget to ring the bell so you're notified of all my future videos when they do post. Remember that all Shelby bells ring the bell. And yeah, guys, if you enjoyed today's video, YouTube should be suggesting a couple more down here for you to choose from. So I'd love it if you did that. And aside from that, I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.